I recently read The Extended Mind by Annie Murphy Paul. The next time you're stuck on a problem or struggling to learn a concept, don't strain your mind, extend your mind. When you learn to extend your mind through your body and into your environment, you boost your cognitive abilities. If you think of your brain like a computer, extending your mind is like plugging in a high-speed external hard drive, a powerful external graphics card, and some high-resolution monitors. There are 3 fundamental ways to extend your mind and boost your cognition. If you leverage these 3 forms of extension, you'll make better decisions, speak with increased clarity, and experience more creative breakthroughs. First, extend your mind into your body. There are few things in the world more complex than financial markets. Knowing when to buy or sell is extremely hard to calculate. But there's a group of traders at the London Stock Exchange who consistently make good buy and sell decisions and bring home more money than their peers. These people don't have superior education or intellect, but they do have one significant advantage. They are great at detecting their heartbeat. Now, you might assume that detecting one's heartbeat without using a finger or a device has nothing to do with successful trading. But the ability to detect one's heartbeat is a sign of heightened interoception, the ability to sense the inner state of one's body. Interoception is an extremely valuable skill because the body is constantly collecting information the mind isn't aware of. Scientists call the body's data collection non-conscious information acquisition. As the body acquires non-conscious information, it detects patterns and tries to relay its findings to the brain. But if you haven't developed your interoception skills and aren't in tune with your body, you won't receive the valuable data your body is sending. You can think of being out of touch with your body like being disconnected from the internet. You lose access to a huge amount of knowledge. Neuroscientist Antonio Damasio conducted a study to prove the body's intelligence. Damasio gave participants 4 decks of cards, face down, and told them to select the deck they thought had the highest card. After a participant selected a deck, the top card of all 4 decks was turned over to reveal which deck had the highest card. What the participants didn't know is that 2 of the decks were rigged to have lower cards. After just the 4th draw, electrodes placed on a participant's skin detected nervous system arousal each time they were about to select one of the bad decks. But most participants didn't come to the conscious realization that any particular deck was bad until draw number 50. We can all tap into our body's intelligence if we practice tuning into our body more frequently. One way to do this is to perform regular body scans. Start by directing your attention to your toes and feel as though your breathing is moving in and out of your toes. After a few breaths, shift your attention to the sole of your foot, then your heel, then your ankle, calves, thighs, and so on, until you get to the top of your head. This entire exercise should take about 5 minutes. If you practice scanning your body at least once a day for the next 2 weeks, you'll start to cultivate your ability to tune into your body and extend your cognitive abilities and enhance your ability to solve complex problems. The next way to extend your mind and boost your cognitive abilities is to gesture frequently. Gesturing is humanity's first language. When you were an infant, you became fluent in gesturing what you wanted before you could talk. You waved, pointed, and held up your arms in a way that signaled you wanted to be picked up. You could say that gesturing front-runs the development of speech as an infant, but you might not realize that it also front-runs speech as an adult. When researchers observed people talking and gesturing, they found that their gestures indicated what they're about to say a second or 2 before they said it. Scientists call this gestural foreshadowing, and gestural foreshadowing is essential to good communication. Annie Murphy Paul says, when people are prevented from gesturing, they talk less fluently. Their speech becomes halted because their hands are no longer able to supply them with the next word and the next. Upon finding this out, I've started gesturing every word as I record these book summaries. I find that I'm much more fluent and require fewer re-recordings or edits than I used to. But gestures not only clarify what you want to say, they help clarify what you don't understand yet. A great way to test your understanding of a new concept is to explain that concept out loud to yourself or others using gestures. If you find that your speech and your gestures are mismatched, further understanding is required. And what's more, your brain senses the mismatch and generates the motivation needed to close your knowledge gap. If you continue gesturing while you're learning, you'll actually retain more information. Because as you move your hands, you create multiple mental hooks into the material you're learning. These hooks allow you to reel in information when it's needed later. If you move your hands while practicing a presentation, your brain will link the feeling of a gesture to certain words and phrases, so that when it comes time to present, simply start gesturing and you'll find that you can easily remember your memorized speech. So when you're presenting, learning, or solving a problem, use your own form of sign language to further explain what you're trying to say. If you do this alone, you might feel like a crazy person, but the cognitive upgrade is worth it. Oh, and here's a bonus tip. If you're on a video call and don't want to be seen as a hand talker, make gestures under the table. Research shows that, quote, gestures enhance our ability to think even when our gesturing hands are hidden from our view. Now, the third way to extend your mind and enhance your cognitive abilities is to extend ideas into your workspace. Annie Murphy-Paul says, our culture tends to valorize doing things in one's head. We are awed by mathematicians who can engage in elaborate mental calculations, chess masters who can plot a long progression of moves in their mind's eye, and memory champions who can remember so much without reference material to external prompts. But true human genius lies in the way we are able to take facts and concepts out of our heads, using physical space to spread out that material, to structure it, and see it anew. Author and historian Robert Caro is a perfect example. While writing his bestseller, The Power Broker, he installed a 10-foot wide corkboard that covered the entire wall of his Manhattan apartment. Caro then used the board to put up the outline for his book, which helped him keep on track and triggered new ideas each morning he walked into his office to start writing. Do the same for your next project. Put an outline or concept map up on your wall, either using a corkboard or just some scotch tape and paper, and use that wall as a launch pad for ideas. Imagine you're like a homicide detective, putting up a visual representation of the facts and ideas for the case you're trying to solve. But don't stop there. Create smaller concept maps on your computer by using mind mapping software to hold the web of ideas you need to complete a complex task. Then further extend your ideas into your workspace by constantly doodling, journaling, and capturing ideas on index cards, notepads, and post-its that you can rearrange on your workstation. When you get things out of your head and into the space around you, you create powerful thought loops, because when you see an idea written down, new insights come to mind, which you can then write down, see, and think some more. These reinforcing cognition loops increase the quality and quantity of ideas. In the end, when you're stuck on a problem or struggling to learn a concept, don't strain your mind, extend your mind. Extend your mind into your body by doing body scans. Extend your mind to your gestures by moving your hands as you explain the problem or concept you're struggling to grasp. And extend your mind throughout your workspace by putting up concept maps on your wall, creating digital mind maps, and constantly capturing ideas on notebooks, index cards, post-it notes, and loose-leaf paper so you can create powerful thought loops. By extending your mind into your body, gestures, and workspace, you expand your intelligence and think in ways your brain could not manage on its own. That was the core message that I gathered from The Extended Mind by Annie Murphy-Paul. This book is absolutely fascinating and is among the best books I've read this year. I highly recommend it. If you would like a one-page PDF summary of insights that I gathered from this book, just click the link below and I'd be happy to email it to you. If you already subscribe to the free Productivity Game email newsletter, this PDF is sitting in your inbox. If you like this video, please share it. And as always, thanks for watching and have yourself a productive week.